All right, we are live. Welcome back, everyone. J-Bone here for Smash This Podcast. 2019 sure is kicking off with a bang, folks. Now, even though we don't have an absolute ton of information to talk about with this, we can do a little speculating and we can have a little fun with this. The big news will come out in about a week, almost exactly a week. Folks, we're talking about the authenticity of all elite wrestling. What's crazy, and I think I still have it bookmarked. Where are my bookmarks? There they are. Where is the original? This isn't the original. I'm looking at the article that came out just over a month ago, right before Thanksgiving, when the trademarks were filed. That's when this really started to, oh, there's some truth to this. What's going on? People took a second look at this. Excuse me. Oh, that came out. Okay. Yeah, that was all like right before Thanksgiving. Jerry's in the chat. What's up? Happy New Year, Jerry. I was trying to find the original article just to put a timeline on it, but that's okay. You guys know what I'm talking about. The original article, when rumors started going around that Jim Ross and Chris Jericho were tied to a company that was going to be run by Tony Khan, and Cody and the Young Bucks were already signed. And there was some other stuff that went on with that. That was about 2 months ago. And I remember when, dude, I don't think there's anyone, unless someone tied to it personally, anyone reading that first initial news 2 months ago, looking at that and going, that's legit. It was so far-fetched. It was like, you've got to be effing kidding me. And now it's official, you know. This has been I mean, we knew something was happening 4 months ago, according to the Being the Elite series, according to the Young Bucks, when those timers started. But when that started 4 months ago, no one even blinked an eye or thought or probably had an idea. There might have been a very few. I think I just read someone online said, oh, yeah, we were talking about this at All In at StarCast. Okay. I mean, you could sit there and be like, wouldn't it be cool if they started their own company? I have not heard anybody say anything like that. And if you would have asked me back then, I'd have been like, eh. The first question, obviously, is who's going to back it? You know? Because up until these rumors starting, the only ones with any kind of serious cash flow in the wrestling industry, obviously, Vinnie Mac. Number two, you could say that Anthem has some money, the ones that own Impact Wrestling, but I don't think it compares to what Vinny has. Do I know any numbers? No. It's just, you look at their situation. They're still on TV, but they're not in the greatest, they're still kind of digging out of that stuff from a couple years ago. 2018 was great for them, but they still got, they still got some shining to do. They gotta get some of that, stuff off of them. Ring of Honor has TV, but they don't pack massive arenas. They still play some smaller joints, some bigger than others. Depends on the city. And then you got smaller ones that have popped up: MLW, Ring Warriors. New Japan's on in the US, but it's all, 1 to 2 months old. So I don't really count that. If it was more current, I think it would do a lot better. But if you've got the New Japan, what is that, the network, whatever they call it, why are you going to watch Access? I watch it once in a while, depending on what they're playing. But and I always record it. I just don't always watch it. So you got a lot of little companies that have popped up on American television within the last year to 2 years. But this, and we don't even have a clue yet, honestly, what their TV deal is going to be. Obviously, if you've got a guy like Tony Khan in your back pocket with the money, ready to do some big things with it, then they've got something either in the works or almost ready to go. So, and if you're watching this, I'd love to get your opinions on this too, as far as the announcement, the Being the Elite episode last night. I watched it right before I went live. Still got goosebumps watching it. That very end where where Hangman flips the phone around. Oh, I had solid goosebumps all over. That just got me so excited. I sat here last night and just clapped. I was like, yeah, I cheered out loud in front of my computer while I watched it. I was so excited because, we would have liked to assume that they were going to say something, or what was the next step. We really didn't know. But we knew they couldn't say anything, which is why, all these people, and I've said this a couple times already, all these people crapping on, well, it's not real. If it was real, they would have said something. No, dumbass. They couldn't legally say nothing, which is why the only people in the video, I'm not talking about the intro, the outro, whatever. I'm talking about in the video, the only 4 you saw doing this stuff Okay, with the exception of Fat Ass Massa, which was funny. We'll talk about that in a second. You got Hangman, Adam Page, Cody, and the Bucks. Those four. You didn't see Marty. You didn't see Kenny. No one else. And that's because Kenny's still obligated until Wrestle Kingdom. Marty's now under contract, still with Ring of Honor until April or May-ish, something like that. Could be under contract until the G1 special. That's a guess. But it's April, May-ish, I think. So the first thing we got out of, if we break down this episode, and I never break down the Being the Elite episodes. That would be a fun thing to do, but most of the time we just watch. This is like one of the first like big informative things that we've had since All In. I was covering the All In stuff very closely when they were doing the reveals of matches week by week, or so and so is All In, before they were really doing the matches. But let's talk about this a little bit. I think we can assume, as far as the main four guys, like I said, Adam Page, Cody, the Young Bucks, three guys that were significantly still in this, almost forgot, because I'm an old fart and I forget shit, the guys from SCU. Now, they're not, as far as I know, they're all three guys from SCU are done with Ring of Honor. And they're free agents. And some of them are booked in indie shows. Like I think Christopher Daniels is actually booked at a few indie shows from what I've heard. I don't know where or when or whatever, but I thought I heard that he is booked at a few indie shows. So it was funny seeing Kazarian, and he was hearing the TikToks, like the Bullet Club guys. Or the Elite guys, excuse me. Oh my God. Not the Bullet Club anymore. It's like calling Impact Wrestling TNA, not TNA. Kazarian was looking for his phone because he couldn't find it, and he's hearing the TikTok, and he hit his head. He looked underneath his coffee table, and he found the suicide figure, which if you don't get it, there was a handful of times, or for a certain period of time, where he was the guy underneath the mask of the suicide character. Some people are speculating that this means that they're going to make an appearance at Homecoming or be involved with Impact Wrestling somewhere in the near future. The reason why they speculate that is because Christopher Daniels, while he was working out, they seemed to move the camera just right so that up in the corner of the screen, it's like, here's Christopher Daniels working out, and up in the background, you see a bunch of old classic TNA action figures pinned up. I'm assuming one was Christopher Daniels, and the other one would have been a combo of Christopher Daniels with, I don't know who the combo was. AJ Styles, maybe? I don't think it was Kazarian. I know he and AJ were a tag team way back. Tag champs too, as far as I know. So there's some people that are speculating that at least those two are going to end up in Impact Wrestling. I'm not going to put any weight on that. I've talked about that a little bit. We'll have to see this coming weekend. Maybe during the Ultimate X, maybe for a set of tapings, just for nostalgia's sake, because they're going to do the show Homecoming and a set of tapings at least one day, 1 or 2 days, I forget what, at the Asylum, as far as I know. So we'll see what happens this weekend. I'm not going to overthink it. Because if you want to sit there and be like, okay, this guy's going to show up and this guy's going to show up, it's like, just don't overthink it. Homecoming is going to be great, whether the SCU guys show up or not. I almost couldn't remember the name of the third guy. Scorpio Sky. Oh my God. And he's the guy that's been on the West Coast for a long time, but as far as like really knowing how good he is and what he's all done, I couldn't tell you, because up until SCU and being the Elite and all that stuff, I had no clue who this guy was. But all of a sudden he's in Ring of Honor, and I was like, oh, wow, he's pretty good. But he's a veteran too, so he totally fits with those guys. He might be a little younger, but he fits with them. So, but besides all the Homecoming rumors, I think we can assume that, barring anyone that has already said anything, and no one really has, someone saying, oh, by the way, I'm signed, no one's really said that yet. I think we can assume that SCU is bound for All Elite Wrestling. What was also funny about Christopher Daniels' little quick segment, his wife was in the background. Husband? It was like, who calls their husband husband? That was just funny. I'm working out. Kaz and Scorpio are in better shape than me. 5 more minutes. And then he had the timer too. So maybe the next one will reveal what was on Scorpio's phone, Kaz's phone, and Christopher Daniels' phone after the alarm went off, because that wasn't revealed. I think that's important, unless they just, if they usually put these out on Monday, so we might get a little more information on Monday before the big. We're going to find out a lot more on January the 8th. That was like the only big announcement besides the logos. Them, the 4 guys saying we're going double or nothing. There was a video that went up on the social media saying January 8th, they're going to be in Jacksonville, Florida at some part of the Jacksonville Jaguar Stadium. Going to be some big free rally. In the picture is Brandy and Cody, the Young Bucks, Hangman Adam Page, the SCU guys, I'm forgetting someone. Who knows? Maybe Fat Ass Massa will even be with them. Oh, Cody Rhodes just put out a statement. We'll read it in a bit because that just came out within the last hour. I did not realize. Give me a second here. Okay, so it's basically just going to be. I'm not seeing the picture that I originally thought I was going to see. No, it's not there. Okay, I know I saw the picture of it. I'm just not seeing it on Cody's. Okay, so let's read this. This came out. It says an hour ago. Statement from Cody Rhodes. I feel so damn lucky. I believe that more than talent, more than chance, work ethic will guide me where I'd like to go. To be executive vice president for our new venture. Oh, my goodness. There's a reveal. And to be flanked by Matt and Nick and a few familiar names sharing that position. This is my dream job. I can't think of a time when so many wrestling's top free agents all opted out of the road, usually traveled, and instead wanted to start something new. I am excited to see AEW into existence. What's old isn't new. What's new is new. Perception isn't reality. Reality is reality. Fans first. Well, that sounds a hell of a lot more authentic than someone saying, "You're the authority now." Great. Everyone's going to hate us. That's a statement from Cody. That's right on smack dab on his Twitter box. So Cody Rhodes, executive vice president. Flanked by Matt and Nick. It doesn't give their titles, just says flanked by Matt and Nick and a few familiar names sharing that position. That is going to probably be revealed a week from tonight on the 8th. Because that poster that was revealed said, and a few surprise guests or something like that, a few surprise people. Reggie is in the chat. Welcome. What do you think they can be? What are you talking about? What the Young Bucks position in the company is? IP is in the chat. CM Punk may be the surprise. Surprise. Spelled it right the first time. We say surprise, but it's surprise. It's okay. I'm just messing with you. Let's talk about some surprises. Oh, okay. Reggie says, as in the promotion, can they be successful? You know what? I think the sky's the limit for this group, honestly. But let's be realistic. Like I said, we don't know a lot yet, okay? We could do a lot of speculation and we could do a lot of guessing, and there's a lot of podcasts doing that. today within the last 24 hours. And I wanted to do a little bit of that, just for the sake of shoot a couple names around. I mean, I've seen some lists within the last few weeks that are just ridiculous. They're pulling, oh, I want to see Sasha Banks and Charlotte and AEW. Dumbass. They are I mean, let's be a little realistic here. I mean, yeah, you could throw any names on a piece of paper and be like, this is my list for AEW. But you got to be a little realistic here, Racist Fan Rocks is in the chat. What's up, man? Happy New Year. They have one of the richest men backing them. They do. Co-owner of the Jags and Fulham. That's a football team in Europe, I believe. He's got his hands in a few different cookie jars. Andre's in the chat. What is up? I will support this promotion in the beginning, but if it's anything like Joey Ryan wrestling style BS, I will quickly say, screw this company. Okay. I know Joey Ryan's not your cup of tea. I know you're more of a, dare I say the word, for lack of better words, not knocking the term, but a more conservative, more a little more. You're a little more old school, Andre, and that's fine. That's fine. Let's play with some names. And I think, in my opinion, that was one of the best things about the All In show. And I don't mean just Joey Ryan. I mean the fact that they had so many different things on the plate. You had decent tag team wrestling. You had the women's match that featured some of the hottest women in the independent scene today. You had some Japanese stuff. You had some hot lucha libre. You had all these different things. And then you had, goofy stuff like Joey Ryan. And that was, like I said, I get that he's not everybody's cup of tea, but it was to put a period at the end of the sentence of that storyline that had been going on for months. The Adam Page story with Joey Ryan and who killed who, and Joey came back from the dead with the druids, or excuse me, the fluids. I like him. I like him. Everyone says, "Oh, I want the Attitude Era back." Okay, I don't want the Attitude Era back, but there are certain things I think you can bring back, certain edgy things that I think can still fit into the realm of professional wrestling. Look at Scarlett Bordeaux. Perfect example. She is gorgeous. Makes you quiver in your seat a little bit if you're a guy like me. It's like, oh man, she's gets warm. Stuff like that. You can bring a realm of sexiness or edginess into professional wrestling. And I think it's a good thing. Like when I mean, the only stupid part. God, I hate the. You didn't like the giant penises. Okay. I get that. I'm hearing my son chant in the back of my head, "Rest in penis." Now it's like, for me personally, that was one of the highlights of the show. I was roaring when that happened. Dick druids. No, it's fluids. Happy 1895. What? Racist Fan Rocks is obviously still intoxicated. Happy New Year. Okay, names. Joey, and let's talk about Joey for a second. Was we're talking about names. Um, I think if people were talking about this quietly around the time of All In, very few selected people, and they looked at who was on the show. Obviously, not everyone at the show can or will be under contract in AEW in the near future. Demon Rocks is in the chat. What is up? Priscilla Kelly's gimmick. Yeah, we'll get to that. You didn't like DX. You didn't like Norman Smiley either. I didn't think Norman Smiley was very believable either. I didn't, I mean, my focus was on, Wolfpack, NWO, Four Horsemen, the Luchadors. I didn't pay much attention to guys like Norman Smiley. Obviously, he's got a very well-paying job now in the NXT realm, but whatever. So he's got to be worth something. But anyways, different subject for another time. I think Joey Ryan certainly could have a place. I mean, he is one of the most successful independent guys that's not tied to anything. He even runs his own thing. Was that Bar Wrestling, which is actually starting to really get some eyes on it within the last within the last couple of years. Guys like Macaulay Culkin are showing up doing appearances. That was a couple months ago, something like that. But you absolutely freaking loved Ravishing Rick Rude, one of the best. Okay, that's interesting. Because he had a lot of sex appeal. So you liked Rick Rude. Okay. You're waffling, sir. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding, Andre. You know I'm kidding. AEW needs to get a deal with Stardom and Pro Wrestling Eve. We'll talk about that a little bit too. As far as like the concept of talent sharing, I'm hearing a lot of people talk about that too. Waffle. You crack me up, dude. Okay. Let's talk about someone who was on social media the other day and had a very significant shout out to someone who got him his credentials for a football game. Chris Jericho was at an NFL football game. Interesting. Okay, he thanked, this was kind of weird, but okay. He thanked Tony Khan. I keep looking at his name like I'm going to like screw it up and say Khan or something. I know I've said that a few times today talking to other people. It's Khan. Like Wrath of Khan. Khan! Sorry, I had to. Shatner. It's, you can picture Vince McMahon screaming that somewhere within the next year. Khan! Someone make a Star Trek poster. There's a lot of people that make like, wrestling posters, like movie posters, and put figures like, and make them look like authentic, like Hollywood type schemes. Someone's got to make a Star Trek AEW related one with the Wrath of Khan or something. That'd be hilarious. I'm not a Star Trek guy, but that would be hilarious. Someone's got to do that. That's money. That's some money right there. So sometime this week, someone's going to do that. I know it. Someone's going to do it. So Jericho, like I said, shows up at a football game. Thanks, Tony Khan. Tony Khan's related to the Jacksonville Jaguars, but Jericho was on the Minnesota Vikings sideline with a cheerleader. I'm trying to remember the picture. Looked like he had like Minnesota Vikings gear on. So, I mean, it would have been dead obvious if he had Jacksonville Jaguars gear on, but he was on the Vikings sideline, which was kind of what? I don't associate football with Chris Jericho because he's Canadian. I think of hockey when I think of Chris Jericho. So that picture was interesting, but the fact that he thanked Tony was like, oh, there's a thing there, Everyone looked at that and went, there it is. You smell it? There it is. That's where the stink is coming from. That's right there. See? Boom. Evidence. So yeah, I mean, that could be nothing, but I think it's something that could, that could be Jericho's way of trolling the fans. Like, hey, look at this over here. It's a thing. Wink, wink, wink. Oh, I did it with the wrong eye. Jericho actually is a dual citizen. I have no doubt about that. You could probably call him a triple citizen with as much time as he's spending in Japan lately. No, probably not. Just a work visa. There's rumors that AEW will air on Tuesday. Well, yeah, they filed a thing a couple months back or whenever it was, the trademarks for, what was it called? Tuesday Night Dynamite? That could have been a thing. That could be a thing. All capital letters. IP says AEW will be the best alternative to WWE since WCW. I hope it does well, and a lot of it depends on the talent. Is it going to be able to catch the eye of the casual fan? That's going to be the hardest part. What they did in Chicago turned a lot of heads, surprised a lot of people. I'm not sure. I don't know. I mean, how do I say this? I have absolutely no doubt with the talent that they're going to bring into the company, male and or female, that it's going to be some of the best talent currently around. And they're going to have some veterans like the SCU guys, but they're not going to have to pull like what some people are assuming, like a TNA point or TNA 2.0 and start recruiting a bunch of veterans. I think there should be a little veteran presence in the roster and or announcing, but I think they should do what Impact Wrestling is doing right now and make stars out of the youth of today. Make it about the future. Don't just hire a bunch of, dare I say, has-beens, veterans of the ring, and put your money on that. that being said, I'm going to throw a name out there that's already been mentioned in the chat. Let's not jump the gun. Let's remember that the promotion pretty much stemmed from a bet. Well, that's true. For the year, your product. Well, like I said, actually, I don't even know if I said this. I thought it in my head all day. 2019, and I think this is going to be a big, I mean, I could be wrong. This is speculation. I think 2019 is going to be build. 2020, launch. The official company leading up to that, they're going to have another couple all-in related shows. Double or Nothing, we're going to find out about that in a week. They just announced it. That's like All In Part 2. And I think that'll give another big hint as to what we're going to see in the future of the show, production-wise, setup-wise, look-wise. What does... Like, I thought their stage setup at All In was dope. I was impressed. I mean, it looked like, you know, the stage scale was, dare I say, WWE-esque as far as the size of the stage. It looked great, you know. Yeah, there's been nothing that has the potential to have the size of a WCW since then. I think about 10 years ago, TNA maybe had a little, you know, a decent amount of buzz behind it, but it fizzled quick. It fizzled quick. So yeah, as far as special people involved, I think you can throw Jericho in there. And I want to get your opinion on this. I'm on the fence about it, so I'm not going to be like, oh, he's got to be in there. CM Punk. I know a lot of people still want to see him. I know a lot of people have given up on him. Like, no, he's not coming back. After he didn't show up at All In, that was my end of it. Do I still respect the guy for what he's done in the industry and how he, you know, his revolutionary pipe bomb, you know, from there on what he did in the WWE? I felt it was great. And I could give two shits about what he did in the UFC. He tried, he failed, whatever. You know? So What do you guys think? Do you want to see, and this is for people watching this after the fact too, not just for the people watching live. Do you think Punk could come back to something like this and help it? You know? Could he have that one-off with Kenny Omega to get his feet back in and to see how he feels doing it? You know, so, you know, get rid of some of the ring rust. I'm not saying he's not in shape, but he hasn't professionally wrestled in how many years? Is that 2013, 2014? 4 or 5 years that's going on now? Andre says, what if the first 3 months of shows are crap? I think that's why I said make 28 or 2018. We're going to go back in time. Make 2019 the build year. Build the brand. Do all into Double or Nothing. Start quietly putting a roster together. Because you can't just do that shit overnight. That takes a while. We're not gonna see All Elite Wrestling TV hit in February of 2019. Let's be realistic. They may have had this plan set for a few months. They may have people in mind. They may be talking to people, but let's be realistic. You know, I can't assume that they're just, you know, unless they film from a place repeatedly over the course of the next several months and keep coming back to it. Like, okay, for example, if they filmed television from Chicago at the Sears Center where they did All In and do a set of tapings and a set of tapings and a set of tapings and a set of tapings, similar to how Impact did it. But I don't see them doing that. The first several people that the All Elite Wrestling Twitter, by the way, that Twitter that everyone started following about a week ago, it's legit. It's legit. I followed it. I know a lot of my friends followed it. And I'm sure when they hit that follow button, they're like, okay, I'll follow. Okay. This is funny because a lot of the ones that it was following, it wasn't anyone specific. It was all cities, arenas. One of them, Milwaukee's Fiserv Forum, meaning All Elite Wrestling could eventually end up here in town. We're praying. Would War Dog Discord join the All Elite Wrestling Discord? I was on Discord a couple of years ago. I haven't been on Discord in a few years. I'll think about it. Just because I'm already on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram. I'm like, oh man, do I want another? Do I want another social media? I'll look into it. Excuse me. I'll look into it. Anybody watching WoW on the 18th? I will be. I'm going to check that out. Will Goldust decide to wrestle for All Elite Wrestling? Oh, man, that's a good question, Andre. That's a good question. I don't know. Number one, he's injured right now. He's not doing anything. He's sitting home for the holidays, unfortunately. I didn't hear what knee surgery or hip surgery. It's something with his legs, his lower, whatever, you know. Something from his waist on down he had surgery on. I didn't hear how serious it was, if it was just trimming a little bit of this off or, you know, I don't know how serious it was. I don't know when Goldust is coming back. I don't know. I mean, Goldust is in a very unique place right now. He hasn't been this, okay, besides having surgery right now, he has, general health-wise, he has not been this healthy in decades. And that's not an opinion. That's a fact. He trimmed all the fat off. He's been sober for like, what, 8, 10 years, whatever it's been now? And he's very transparent about that on his social media. He'll tell you, be like, I've been sober for this long now. Thank you, God. He's, he's a man of faith, and, he professes it. And thanks God for his sobriety and whatnot. I think that's a beautiful thing. And he's obviously not on the top of the card of the WWE. He's got a very cushy job. He's got a job similar to what R-Truth is doing. He's more of a PR guy than, he's not going to go for any titles. I know there's probably a lot of people out there that would love to see him go for something. Cody versus Dustin for the NWA title. Damn. So, I mean, is he, once he's healed up or whatever in contract, would he decide maybe after WWE to go there? Maybe a one-off? I don't know. It's hard to say. My first thought is to have a chance to wrestle with his brother and have them both be happy with the concept of what's happening booking-wise, yes. How much, I don't know. But my first thought is yes. But you got to, like I said, you got to remember, he's got a very cushy job. I mean, there's a lot of guys in the WWE right now that are they're just coasting. They're working 1 or 2 days a week, if that. And they're getting paid damn good money. IP said, I expect All In to be a stadium show within coming years. Whew. That's some big shoes, dude. Andre says the owner of the Jaguars could give all the season ticket holders of the Jacksonville Jaguars tickets to All Elite Wrestling and fill up the stadiums for tapings. That sounds very WCW-ish. I know he's got money to spend and he probably wants to spend it, but he wants to make money too, and I don't think he's going to make money doing that. I can see throwing a bone as a promotional thing to help certain cities or certain circumstances. And to be realistic, you hear people talking about how successful is the company going to be the first few years. It may not be, but then again, what wrestling company is, takes a few years to really gain speed, but there's a shit ton of buzz behind these guys. AEW will sell out 60,000 seats. Man, my chat is full of some ambitious folks. You guys are talking about 60,000 seaters and stadiums. Wow. Love you guys. I'm glad that shows that you're excited. If you guys weren't excited for this, you'd be like, oh, they're going to shit the bed on the first day. You'd be like that. But no. The general feeling that I've seen, and it's not all positive. There's some trolls out there. I get it. Hell, I'm seeing some diehard Impact fans out there that are crapping on this, and I'm really kind of shocked. I'm really kind of surprised. But hey, like I said, not everybody has to like everything. That's okay. Jenny Buss is funding. Wow. Yes, that I did hear. I have no clue who that is, but I did hear that name tossed around. You know how expensive NFL season tickets are? Tickets he gives be a tax write-off. You wouldn't lose a cent, and stadium shows would look even bigger. WWE NHL size arena shows. Maybe. Andre is also sounding very ambitious. Butthurt WWE fans. Impact suffers the biggest blow from the information of AEW. I don't know if they do. I mean, obviously, this news, whether the rumors started drifting through the interwebs 2 months ago down to the breaking news of the last 24 hours last night, 12 hours ago, whatever. No matter what size company you are, it's going to turn heads. Don't tell me that Vinnie Mac hasn't noticed. I saw an interesting opinion. I was watching Fightful.com's live YouTube opinions, news breaking after this came out last night. Sean Ross Sapp. He had the opinion / news of, as far as not specific people, but people inside the WWE looking at this news breaking, and they thought it was great. I find that a little hard to believe, but it also, if you look at it from a worker's point of view, I don't know how the office people look at it. You know, you look at like the executive people like Triple H, Steph, you know, stuff like that. I don't know. But from a worker's point of view, you look at like the Seth Rollins, the Charlottes. That, I would think, would make them want to work even harder because, okay, at some point it does become a viable competition. Maybe not this second, but somewhere down the line, you know? People forget that Len Asper, the owner of Impact, is a multi-billionaire. That's interesting. I did not know that. You know what? I think I've heard you say that before, but for their shows. Oh, I think they're going to do more than that, Andre, depending on the city. I mean, if they, you know, you can go back to the, you know, selling out 11,000 plus seats in 30 less than 30 minutes. I was lucky enough that I bought my ticket 15 minutes after they went on sale, and the best I could get was a nosebleed. I consider myself damn lucky. I think they'll do better than that. But like I said, it depends on the market. Chicago's hot. You look at certain Midwest cities, that's hot. Wrestling fans just starved for good wrestling. Chicago / you know, Northern Illinois, Southern Wisconsin, very diehard wrestling fan. I've been to enough stuff around here. It's evident. But now you throw something like AEW in the area. It did well in Chicago. I'm not sure how it would do in Milwaukee. Milwaukee's still considered a very poor city. Too much wrestling in Florida right now. Now there's even more, Andre. There's a lot of indies in Florida, from what I'm hearing. I had Styles on last night. We were talking about that a little bit. He's looking to check out some indie stuff in the area. Come the new year, now he's going to check out some stuff. Let's talk about a couple more names, and then we're going to get out of here. I don't want to sit on here too long because just in case my stepdaughter gets out of work early, I got to pick her up at midnight, but just in case. My brother knows who's Shaq. Wrestling. Yeah, more and more people are learning who the Khans are. But yeah, that Tony Khan, apparently he's been wanting to get into wrestling for a while now, and well, now he's officially in. Like I said, let's throw around a couple names and then we're gonna get out of here. There's only so much you can really talk about this. It's not too much. Most of this now is just speculation. We don't have any facts yet. We talked about Jericho a little bit. We talked about Joey Ryan. We talked about CM Punk. Let's talk about someone like JR. Let's talk about like announcers, behind the desk people, play-by-play people. Do you guys think once Jim Ross's contract is up with the WWE, when it is, I'm not sure. But I know there were issues with him doing Wrestle Kingdom, and now apparently he can't. So I heard something like that. So WWE is preventing it because he's still under contract with them. He's not even doing anything. Really kind of sucks ass. It's like, I think that's a perfect example of, okay, we got our thumb on him. He's here. He ain't doing shit, but he's here. So he can't go anywhere else. So do you guys want to see someone like JR do play-by-play? I'm on the fence about it, Some of his, I don't think you can look at his Japan stuff because some of people are very critical of his Japan stuff. I think he struggled a little bit. Demon Rock says, no, not JR. Okay. Because I think a couple years before that, when he was doing NXT, before NXT really blew up, I think he did really good. And that was right before, say, like, the Shield happened. But it was still, there was like just a crap ton of talent just sitting there, but not a lot of people knew about it. And then the Shield happened, and it just, then people really, where did they come from? Oh, they come from this little hotbed of talent right down here called NXT. Then people really started paying attention. That's how I like to think it kind of, really started to take off, was with the Shield guys. Because they were going back and forth then for a while between NXT and the main roster. They were tearing it up all over the place. Oh, God, that was an exciting time. That almost gives me goosebumps thinking about that. That was a lot of fun. So, if not JR, War Dog says for pay-per-views. Okay. Could be. It's an option. Lenny Leonard from WWN Live or Tony Schiavone. Tony Schiavone's under contract with MLW. He had a hard enough time trying to get on the NWA 70th anniversary show. MLW was kind enough to let him do that. So I don't see that happening. If TV launches I have no clue how long Tony Schiavone's under contract for, what kind of contract he has. But as far as I know, he's only doing MLW and only allowed to do MLW. Excuse me. But don't get me wrong. I love that name. I love what he's doing on MLW. It gives it an old school feel to some really hot modern day wrestling. Um, I like, and I know some people don't like this name. I like Jim. Jim we just talked about Jerron. I like Matt Stryker and what he's done for like Lucha Underground. Tremendous mind in the world of wrestling. Not everybody's cup of tea, but I love him. And I don't know what kind of contract he has with Lucha Underground as far as a TV contract. Because, you know, as far as like in ring workers could be very different from like what Matt Stryker and Vampiro do. Well, Vampiro maybe a little more because he can do more physical stuff or can be expected to do more physical stuff than someone like Matt Stryker. But that's a name I would pick, Matt Stryker. Some people are throwing around that name of, and I'm sorry, I don't know the name of the guy. His name is Hurricane or something. He worked in PWG. He also did All In. He was the mask. Oh, no, not Hurricane. Excalibur. What did I say? Hurricane. Oh, my God. Excalibur. Now, the only place I've ever seen him work was All In. I haven't watched a lot of PWG. So that could be an option. Obviously, he's got the connection with the Bucks and a lot of other hot indie talent that works PWG. So possibly. Who was the commentator for ECW? Joey Styles. I almost said Joey Janela. I would love to see Joey Janela in this brand as well. Tremendous up and coming talent. Give him some time to get healthy again because he completely destroyed his knee. Poor bastard. He was having a hell of a year too. Did All In. Had a tremendous match with Hangman Page. Loved that match. That was sick. Kevin Harvey. Great for ring announcer. Hey, no one's using Melissa Santos. She can bring a little, dare I say, spice to the ring announcing. I know Joey Styles did something within the last couple of years. He burned some bridge, said something stupid. I don't know if it was political or what it was. He pissed a lot of people off. So, that was at an Evolve show. I forget what he did, but I like Joey Styles. I don't know if he'd come back to wrestling. I don't know if people in the industry would like to see him back. I don't know. I can't think of anyone else offhand. Some people say they want to see Tenay back. I don't know. Christy from Impact. Christy. If Shivani came back, Styles can come back. Well, Shivani was done with wrestling. And I think those two have different, I think most people have different opinions of them, but I know a lot of people probably just don't have a clue, including myself, what exactly Joey did that pissed off some people. But talent-wise, Joey Styles would be good. You see like Matt Stryker and Joey Styles. That'd be a hell of a duo. How about Alicia Tout, backstage interviewer? She was at All In. She did great. She does great for Impact Wrestling too. I don't know if she's under contract. I know she does like the, dare I say, Northern Hemisphere of North America, as in USA / Canada. whereas Mackenzie, I think, does more Florida, Southern, West Coast stuff. But I think it's great that they can switch off, and they both do great. Oh, Christy Hemme, yeah, she's. I don't think you're talking about the hot redhead that used to be a wrestler, and then she became a ring announcer. She's done with wrestling. Yeah, I guess she is. Started having kids or something, maybe. I don't know. I know she got injured. That's why she started ring announcing. Vampiro sucks. No, he doesn't, Andre. No, what's he's got to say here? It's about Lucha Underground, which is still the best wrestling program on TV. There you go. You're right about that. I can't stand the drag queen. That's my second. The drag queen. Oh, you're talking about Exolicious. Yeah, okay. Hell of a worker, but I get that's not everyone's cup of tea. It's different. Okay. Lisa Todd's YouTube page. Yes, I am subscribed to her YouTube page. She has some great interviews. She interviews rock bands and professional wrestlers, majority indie stuff. She's got a few big names she's interviewed. I think she just recently interviewed Chris Jericho. It's on my to-do list to go check out, my watch later list, whatever. Still around. Andre is not a fan of Alicia. Okay. A toot? Thought it was a tout. Whatever. Alicia. We don't. Any other names you guys want to talk about as far as speculation? List out on their show. Yes, they did. For it was the Canadian shows. I thought she was also part of the New York shows. That's why I said upper hemisphere, as in US/Canada. I thought she did those too. Charlotte called her a 5. Yeah, that was in New York, wasn't it? I thought it was. Because she is. Oh, Andre throwing shade on Alicia. Oh, damn. Dude, she's Canadian. You got to support that shit. Because she's a 5. So that was one of the best damn lines of 2018. Shut up, 5. A 10 is talking. Oh my God. That's what I was screaming. I'm like, put that shit on a t-shirt. That is funny. That is funny. Oh, great. Tommy Dreamer as commentator. Dude, Tommy Dreamer's in so many places right now. He's in his own company. He's in Impact. He's in MLW. He's, oh, God. Hell, he had a cup of coffee in Lucha Underground. So many places. Why not? Throw Tommy in there. Great worker. I respect the hell out of him. He is still one of the hardest working veterans, and yet it's sometimes, because he's very transparent. If you watch his vlogs, which he hasn't done one in a while, not sure if he's done with Twitch or what. Kind of wondering. He hasn't done one since the last few big Blizzard Brawl shows. I gotta check that out. He's hurting. Tommy's hurting. I don't think he's going to be wrestling much longer. these last few big matches that he had, part of MLW and Impact Wrestling over the course of the last year or so, he's been very transparent about how much pain he's in, the kind of injuries he's working through, working hurt, working injured, whatever. He still loves it. His passion is unbelievable. You can't deny that. I mean, you want to talk about real. Tommy's about as real as it gets. I wish I had a couple more minutes and gotten there just a little sooner, because I ran out of time and didn't have a chance to meet him when he came here to Waukesha with Blizzard Brawl and House of Hardcore. He walked past me and I said, "Good luck tonight, Tommy." That was it. That was it. I had his 2 seconds attention. But would have loved to get a picture with him, autograph, whatever, next time, hopefully. Even if he isn't wrestling next year, if he comes to Blizzard Brawl, he's still going to run the show. It's House of Hardcore. It's his baby. Tommy's last match needs to be against Callahan. Oof. Damn. That'd be something. Is Tommy a Hall of Famer? Yes. And you can put him in whatever Hall of Fame you want. WWE, Impact Wrestling. He'll probably go to Impact Wrestling Hall of Fame first within the next year or two. I think I've said this before. I thought Conan was going to go in this year, just with how much he's been around. The last year, I was like, oh, perfect. He's a shoo-in. It was Abyss, which is fine. I wasn't upset about it. But yeah, I would certainly think, as much as Tommy's done, especially for the last year or so of Impact Wrestling, helping talent, bringing them to Impact Wrestling, bringing Impact talent to his company. That's how he ended up in Lucha Underground. All these connections he has. Just a wealth of backstage stuff as well. He could end up being like a producer type person for AEW. But he's got his own company. Would he step away? He didn't. WWE wanted to bring him back full time. He would have had to step away from his company. He didn't want to do that. So I don't. You know what? The more I think about it, I don't think he would become part of AEW. I think he likes being a part of some of the smaller ones because he can still do what he still has the freedom to do his own company. Gosh. And then you could start the whole discussion, and this would take another few hours, and I'm not going to do that on here. The thought of, should AEW, you hope RVD shows up. Oh. RVD flying high. 420, yeah, I don't know. I like RVD. He just hasn't been around much. He's still in the indies. Does RVD have another run? Yeah, I don't know. I say no. Few one-offs. He still looks like he's in great shape, but as time goes on and looking at what everyone else is doing, all this hot young talent that's just blowing up people's social medias, I kind of think no, Roxy. Oh, wow. That's a name we haven't heard of in a while. We've never seen heel RVD. Oh. He's doing good in 5-star wrestling. 5-star wrestling. Oh, I've heard of that. Gosh. But yeah, how much is AEW? We can save this for another time. When we like start finding a little more about the company, because you could speculate to the roof. Is AEW going to be exclusive, or are they going to try to get a talent swap with other companies like New Japan? Are they going to work with Ring of Honor? Does Ring of Honor want to work with them? I mean, how many of their guys just left for AEW? Is Ring of Honor going to be salty, or are guys like Joe and Kerry going to be the proud father type and be like, yeah, of course we'll work with you? Or are they going to be like, oh, F you guys, I don't know. Going into the end of this year, they certainly seem the proud, generous, more than generous. God, look at how much the All-In guys got help from. You got to think they got help from Impact Wrestling and Ring of Honor, and in a sense, New Japan, because some New Japan talent did work. I say they got help from Impact Wrestling because Scott D'Amore was floating around, so you got to think he helped out somehow in some way, or they were a presence at least. Hell, they signed some talent out of it. Jordan Grace, Ethan Page. They weren't stupid. They wanted to, check some. That was a perfect place to do it. See how 10,000 people react to certain faces. What better resume do you have? The pop that Jordan Grace got, I know I'm off subject now. The pop that Jordan Grace got when she, what did she do? She slammed Brian Cage or whatever she did to him, or did she throw him out? I forget. She did something to Brian Cage. I forget. But damn, the place erupted. It's one of the pops of the evening. Talk about Roxy. God, I barely remember her. Should have been champion. I'd have to go back and look at some old footage. I barely remember Roxy. Take WWE down. See, and I know that's a lot of popular opinions right now. They see something like AEW pop up and they're like, down with WWE. I said it last night when I was talking with Styles. I said, look, I still have a lot of, it may not be my cup of tea right now, but I still have a lot of favorites in that company. And I want to see them do big things. I want to see, if WWE goes under, it doesn't do anyone any favors. There may be people cheering about it. I certainly would not be happy about it. As much as I may dislike some of the stuff that they're doing in that company right now, if it disappeared, in my opinion, that's not a good thing. How many people would be out of a job then? You got to think of a bigger picture when it comes to stuff like that, Now you got a company like AEW backed with a billionaire. Oh my God. Can you imagine what a good chunk of the indie scene is saying right now? It's like, oh my God, there's my opportunity. You get some hot young talent ready to turn heads and flip this industry on its head. There's so many opportunities out there. Hell, look at Bandito. Worked 10 minutes at All In. Boom, got signed to Ring of Honor. Hello. Unbelievable. CM Punk versus Kenny Omega at All In 2. Yeah. It could very well happen. like I said, we're gonna find out a lot more in a week what's happening. We'll get some more specific details. We'll probably get a date and location for Double or Nothing. And, it's not just a bunch of guys struggling check by check to put this show together with the help from this guy, and this company is going to throw in this little bit, and this company is going to throw this little bit. No, this is different now. This is so different now. It's not even funny. That match would sell 100,000 seats. Oh, man. Alpha versus Omega 2 at Double or Nothing. They already had their 2. They already had their part 2 at the Jericho Cruise. Sucks is only a few hundred people saw it, or a couple thousand. I don't know what was on the boat. 1,000 saw it. I don't know. We do a lot of pay-per-view buys. Yeah. And if you're watching this after the fact, give me your thoughts on it. Throw me some names. We'll certainly talk more about this in a week. Unless we get some more significant news within the next week. I don't think we're going to get too much. We got a statement from Cody a couple hours ago now. That was interesting. So he's what did I say he is? Did I leave it up here? Executive Vice President, flanked by Matt and Nick. I didn't go look at their social medias, but it'll be interesting to see if they have a statement. We'll look into that. Maybe we'll talk about it in a few days. We'll see. So thanks a lot. I talked way more than I thought I was going to about this. Jeez Louise. But everyone's talking about it. Everyone and their uncle. It's an exciting time. Not everybody's going to love this. Some people are going to hate it. It's already evident. I will be talking a lot about this. I'm very excited about this, especially after All In. That was amazing. Okay. I will check that out, War Dog. Okay, Andre, we'll do. Six-man tag doesn't what? Good night, War Dog. So yeah, we'll talk to you guys soon. And we'll keep an eye on this. We'll talk more about this certainly in a week after the press conference. And that's going to be, I think they're going to, I don't know how it's going to air, obviously on social media, probably on Facebook and Twitter. We'll probably get some more social medias pop up within the next week. We have a Twitter. I think that's about all we have right now. Probably get a YouTube pop up. It's going to grow. Bit by bit, it's going to grow. It'll be fun watching this. Andre's doing New Year's too. Bring back the Main Street Posse. You're so goofy. All right. Good night, everyone. One last thing. I want to say welcome back to the world of podcasting, G-Rod, formerly of the Rant With Ant podcast. Now he's coming back to podcasting with some cohorts from the Rant With Ant podcast. And the podcast is so goofy. The podcast is called E for the Elite Podcast. And it's going to be exclusively talking about all elite wrestling on the Rant With Ant network. I don't know if it's going to be on YouTube, iTunes, or whatever. It just launched today because of all this news. So G-Rod's back in the world of podcasting. Much love, brother. I'm so glad you're back with you know, putting some faith back in wrestling. I know All In was like your kaputs. That was it for you. I was hoping that because you got a great voice in the world of podcasting, there's a lot of love for you out there. I know you're into some other stuff, writing and whatever, but man, that's where we connected, and so many others around us connected together. So welcome back. Oh God, this is empty. Welcome back, G-Rod. So yeah, by all means, if you're familiar with the Rant With Ant team, go check out that new podcast. They were talking about it. Today was like the launch of it as they were talking about it. So welcome back, G-Rod. Much love. We'll talk to you guys soon. What is this, Tuesday? We'll talk to you guys in a few days. We'll do some Impact Wrestling talk, some homecoming preview and predictions going into this weekend. Oof, it's going to be a nuts weekend. All right, we'll talk to you guys soon. Much love. Smash that sub button.